I never thought I would feel powerless with money. Yet here I am, staring at my bank account and seeing exactly $100. Not because I earned too little, but because I never really paid attention to where it went. For years, I spent without thinking. Coffee shops, online deals, small daily indulgences that added up faster than I realized. I thought I was in control, until reality hit me. I realized that earning more was never going to fix the holes in my spending habits. That morning, I sat at my small kitchen table, a blank notebook in front of me, and a question I wasn't ready to answer until now. What do I truly need? Not what I want. Not what makes me feel good for 5 minutes. Not what distracts me, but what actually supports my life. I set a challenge for myself. Live on $100 for an entire week. Every dollar has a job, every decision matters, no exceptions. The first day started with excitement. I told myself it would be easy. I would skip coffee shops, pack lunch, take public transportation. I even imagined how proud I would be by the end of the week. But as soon as I entered the grocery store, reality laughed at me. Bread, eggs, milk, a small bag of rice. I added them to my cart, nothing extravagant. But the total still felt higher than expected. $26 spent already, a quarter of my weekly budget. My stomach tightened slightly. Yet I reminded myself, this is about awareness, not perfection. Walking back home. I made my first lesson. A simple breakfast of eggs and toast tasted surprisingly satisfying. I realized I didn't need fancy meals to feel nourished. The first small victory was understanding the difference between desire and necessity. Day 2 tested my resolve. A friend invited me to a cafe. Usually I would say yes. I would spend $5 or $6 without thinking. Today I hesitated. I checked my notebook. Only $23 left for 4 days. I went to the cafe anyway, but ordered only water, sitting there quietly. I watched others sip lattes. And for the first time, I realized I hadn't been spending on coffee. I had been spending on belonging, on a fleeting sense of comfort. I smiled at the irony and poured my attention into journaling, writing down every emotion and expense. Awareness felt heavy, but liberating. By day 3, I had already stumbled. I bought a few extra snacks, nothing major, but I felt guilty. I remembered my rule. Every dollar has a job, and some jobs are more important than impulses. So I adjusted. I planned the rest of the week carefully. Rice and beans replaced ready-made meals. Leftover veggies became new dishes. I learned small tricks like boiling eggs in batches and freezing portions. Every little adjustment reminded me that discipline is a muscle. It's built gradually, not overnight. Day 4, I almost broke. Scrolling through my phone. An ad popped up, a sale I had no interest in, but I imagined the thrill. I felt my old habits tug at me. I paused, breathed, wrote in my notebook. Do I need this or just want it? I didn't buy it. The small victory felt bigger than the money saved. I realized that every decision I made this week was training me to pause, training me to see, training me to care for myself more than my impulses. By midweek, I started noticing patterns. My emotions were tied to spending more than my needs. The tiny impulses that seemed harmless before were quietly draining my energy and my focus. I discovered that simplicity brings clarity. I didn't need to impress anyone. I didn't need to overconsume to feel alive. I needed presence, reflection, small conscious choices. That night, I took a long walk in the park. Nothing to buy, nothing to consume. Just me, my notebook, and the quiet realization that freedom comes not from more money, but from more awareness. Day 6. I finally felt a shift. I still had a few dollars left, but I wasn't obsessing. I planned a simple meal, rice, eggs, and some vegetables. I even made a small treat for myself, a homemade dessert that cost less than $2. As I ate, I realized I had more than enough. Not in terms of money, but in terms of understanding. I understood that my past mistakes weren't failures. They were lessons. Lessons I had ignored until now. The last day of the week, I reviewed every dollar spent. I felt proud, not because I had saved a fortune, but because I had finally seen my habits clearly. I saw where I wasted, where I valued, and where I could grow. I realized I didn't need to earn more to feel secure. I needed better habits, conscious choices, and gentle self-discipline. I wrote in my notebook, money is not the problem. Attention is. Discipline is awareness made visible. That week taught me that small, consistent habits could create transformations far bigger than I imagined. That understanding yourself is the greatest wealth. Now, after the week, I don't force myself to live on $100, but I continue the habits, tracking spending, pausing before purchases, planning meals, reflecting daily. I notice the small victories, the lessons learned from each decision. I'm calmer, more aware, more intentional. And every day, I remind myself that progress is incremental. Life is a journey, not a race, and every step, no matter how small, counts. I'm fixing my life little by little, and you can stay if you want to see how far I get.